ruin, I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth. Carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth, I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death. God, where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Vessels wash with me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin, I claim the day. The Imperium's light crumbles to dust. Wherever I tread, rot consumes the just. Space hulks reek of a foul rebirth. Carriers of plague across the cursed earth. Beneath the flies, beneath the filth, I spread the plague with a twisted will. From festering wounds, corruption grows in the heart of death. God, where despair flows. I am the harbinger, the bringer of disease. In Nurgle's name I spread death with ease. Vessels wash with me hand in hand. Rivers of filth drown the land. I am Typhus, master of decay. In the name of ruin, I claim the day. Blameless howl, the gassing walls, vigilant tides, new life is born. Nurgle's passing, a twisted grace. I embrace your God in my cold embrace. Fear the plague fleet, fear the end.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the
I thought we
Discuss
said Will.
podcast. I'm actually going to let Will do that because I think Will wanted to do it. So, Will,
No,
you go
I
ahead.
don't mind, Dave.
No,
You've
no,
gazumped me now.
off
Don't.
No, off to you, buddy. We'll let chat decide who did the better intro. You can go first. Go on.
Oh, here we go. He's stealing my thunder and then passing it back to me. Sloppy seconds. Well, welcome to an episode of the Discussing Resilient podcast. Second intro and sequence. We've got the three of us back tonight. Going to be discussing some of the World Championships results.
Not throwing up as well this time. I'd like to point out.
Yes.
We've got three healthy members.
Yeah, this is a PG. This is a PG episode. So,
no longer worshipping at the altar of Nurgle.
No, I have received my gifts and I've recovered, thankfully.
for anyone who wasn't here last week, the episode it went like this: blah 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 blah. blah
Twice.
Blah 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 blah.
Literally midstream throwing
It was
up
literally
twice.
like
Epic. Well, how are you two doing? Let's go, Mr. Will first. How are you doing, Mr. Will?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I've played a few practice games. We're talking in our chat. Playing the Poxwalker attachment, but with no Poxwalkers in it. It sounds counterintuitive until you sort of think about what the concept is. It was something that Matt Robinson from Team England / Art of War coaching sort of suggested when I was telling about Aiden's list. It did really well, saying how much I liked it. And he thought maybe it's the better concept to go is to just minimise the amount of Poxwalkers you start with on the board and just, work the fact you get more and basically sort of look at it like, would you rather have good strats or an extra 195 points? And it's an interesting concept. I can't work out the right amount of damage because the possibilities are almost endless. I think I've got a version that I like, so I'm going to try that next. But it's quite fun. It's very freeing to write lists with 2 Poxwalker units as your only chaff like minimum, working out to obviously more or try and spawn and things like that. So yeah, it's interesting. But what about you guys? Have you got any games in or?
Go on, Mr. Dave.
So I was gonna have a game. I'm arranging a game probably this Friday, but it'll be at my house probably from someone from club. I'm seeing if I can get someone over here because my wife's got a girls night out. So I'm gonna see if I can just get that organised in the comfort of my own house. And I think I'm gonna play a very skew Death Lord's Chosen List to try a fun combination for max mortals just for fun. So to see if it's got any play in it whatsoever with the A bomb in there. So we'll see. But yeah, no. Apart from that, just had quite a good relaxing weekend, and yeah, kind of been looking forward to chatting about this. And Derek's in chat as well, which is good to see. So it'll be nice. We're going to be talking about some of the lists from that, and then yeah, a little surprise for the community towards the end.
Indeed. The question from the famous quote in the film is, "What's in the box?" So I'm going to guard this. I'm going to guard this box for the stream. If you want to know what's in the box and potentially even have a chance at maybe winning something that's in the box, you can consider becoming a plague marine. Got him. Nice. But yeah, go on on that note.
No, I was going to say also for chat would be interesting. You can go into that in a moment. Is if anyone wants to guess what's in the box as well, please feel free to put your comments in chat.
Yes, let us know what you think is in the box.
There's a very old reference that might be out of scope. Anyone know who the Lonely Island are? It's not that. There you go.
No.
If you get the reference, you get it. You don't.
No, Will. But even better than that. What is the number of the film that Aidan was referencing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good bit of trivia. I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
It's Seven.
Well, it's a film. It's a film called Seven, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Nurgle's blessed number.
Is it Denzel Washington? Am I right? Or,
no,
Morgan
it's
Freeman,
Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
What's in the box? Don't open. He's like, don't open the box.
Great film. great film. If a bit disturbing, but still a great film. So if you are interested in potentially winning what is potentially in the box, there may be multiple things in the box, consider, and you want to obviously support the channel, consider becoming a Plague Marine member. We'll get the shilling out of the way so we can get straight into the good stuff here.
Yep.
Plague Marine members, you get access to our Discord. You'll never be kicked out, so even if you become a member just once, you can stay forever. Then you get all the benefits. You get to join in the amazing community. We've got all chats, communities for every single detachment. We have dedicated players who just play every single detachment, always talking about it, including new player section, competitive section, all that sort of good stuff. We do giveaways, hence this thing here, which you can also get yourself entered into. We have painting tutorials, all sorts of good stuff in there. Give it a consider. If you want to support us even more, you can consider the higher tiers of Blight Lord tier, which gets you access to potential list reviews on Blight Surgery Sundays. And if you really just fancy supporting us, you can become a Death Shroud member, which gives you not really any extra benefits. You get a fancy purple name, and you get shout-outs at the end of videos. But really, that one's just because you just want to show love for the channel. Everything we do make on the channel is complete free view. We don't lock anything behind membership paywall because we want you to support us because you want to support us. And that your guys' support, literally, so the guys in the chat who are members, are allowing everything to be completely free to everyone to see. So really, they're the heroes, not us. But if you can't do any of that...
Whoever joins next, Aidan, sorry, just to interrupt you there, but we'll become the 1450th member. We're at 1449 right now.
That's very fancy. But if you're any of that, failing that, leaving a like, just to subscribe, things like that, help us out massively. So yes, now the camera has flipped itself. That's why you think I'm on your screen over there. And there you go, brother Captain Rob. Brother, you have become the member, brother. If you do become a member, or you're gifted one, which does happen, go to our YouTube channel homepage, click the See Perks button. You'll see a link there to get yourself in our Discord. Once you're in our Discord, just make you go to your settings on Discord, connections, link it to YouTube, and it will do everything else automatically for you. So thank you so much for that. So, on top of that, what have we got to talk about? Oh, what I've been up to, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
I've actually been building and painting some Votan. I haven't actually had a game in a little while just because I've been far too busy with things that have been going on in real life. Just a lot of not greatest things, but we deal with them. Things happen in life. But I am excited to try Taliban. I've obviously got Will's event in two weekends. Is it, Will?
It is, yeah. List submission is this weekend.
Yes, so I am going to be taking, I think, Taliban to that one.
Nice.
So because it's all my detachment, I've only got Taliban and Mortarian's Hammer. So people who don't know, I'm doing an every detachment challenge. I've been doing it since the Codex came out, which is to either win an RTT or get a 4-1 at a GT or Super Major with every single detachment. I am down to just having left the Taliban Summoners and Mortarian's Hammer, so we're going to do our best to try and get that one in 2 weekends' time. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm very excited. Natalie is literally painting up a grey on Klingon for it now. I'm going to try and mute those alert sounds. I don't know why they're playing, so I'll figure that out in a second. I apologise for why they're still picking up its new PC things. But for now, it's some minor concern. But yeah, part of that, I need to get some practice games in pretty badly. So I need to get some games arranged so I can get going. That is going to keep spamming. What is doing that? I'm just going to turn it.
Honey Badger's just been incredibly kind and given 10 gifted memberships.
So thank you so much, Mr. Honey Badger.
Yeah, and just before before that as well, Wazza has said we talked him into becoming a Blight Lord member. So thank you very much as well.
We have managed to consume him to be one of us. You can't ask for more, can you, really, to be honest? Thank you so much for the amazing support, guys. It really does help. I'm really got to try and figure out what that noise is being caused from there. But, hey, new PC, new problems. We keep going. But, yeah, part of that, obviously, outside of that, just been hobbying away. Like I said, I've been doing my Votan here. I've been building up a Capricus. Little Capricus carrier, which are way smaller than I thought they are, and they're dinky little things. You can't actually.
If you think it's small, it must be like epic.
I know you can't even fit a single infiltrator in the back, which is quite funny. So yeah, we got that to fully build and get painted up, and I've got my steel jets.
Look, I've got the same model.
Oh look.
Is that small?
It's way bigger for me. Oh. But yeah, no, part of that, that's pretty much all I've been up to. Just looking forward to Will's event, which does have some tickets left. If you want to quickly mention if anybody wants to come.
Yeah. If anyone wants to go, go on Element Games website and get from the event section, or if you go to Stonehammer or Team Stonehammer on Facebook, you can buy them off us directly and avoid the booking fee. So yeah, I thank you very much. A nice little plug there for me, I appreciate that. Nice.
No, we've got to try and get, make sure there's more players means more ITC points, Will. That's what it's all about. So, main topic of today, let's move on. So you guys won't hear this, but the stream certainly will. So this is kind of how I would summarize, just a little 10-second audio clip, which I'm going to play. This is kind of how I would summarize up how Worlds kind of went for Death Guard, so just bear with me 1 second.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
So for those of you who couldn't hear that, aka Dave and Will, that was the mission failed, we'll get them next time MP3 from old Call of Duty 4. So it didn't go too hot for the guys in green. And to be fair, we already kind of sort of knew this going in. Obviously Death Guard haven't been doing the hottest, still pretty good, but not like, we're not top tier. I mean, even love them or hate them, like Ottawa did put us in like C tier. Which is, that's the opinion of some of the best players. Like, one of their players did win the entire thing, so that is their opinion of us. And as much as I disagree that we're like maybe like that bad, we are struggling, and that is just fact. So, Dave, you have some actual stats for this, don't you? In terms of like death. How many players in total were there at the event?
So for Death Guard, I think there was 18 of us. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so I think there was 18 in total. And of those, and he's in chat, so everyone, can we please have some congratulations for Derek? 40k Dirtbags. Derek finished 47th in the list out of 402. Well done, Derek. That's a great performance, and was the top finishing Death Guard player. And then we have some gaps after that. So we had then 3 players between 80 and exactly on 100 position. Then between 100 to 200, there was only 2 players. Came in 148 and 149. 200 to 300 is where the bulk of this player is made up. I think there were 6 players that finished in that bracketing. 201, 202, 229, 255, 290, 298. And then between 300 and 400, there was another batch of 5, 353, 358, 362, 363, 381. And then final Death Guard player finished 402nd. So the big chunk of players did for Death Guard were we only had 3 in the top 100.
Yeah, and what's even worse than that is we only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the top half.
Yeah, but also to caveat that isn't to say that anyone played badly
Oh,
or
no,
they took
no.
rubbish list or anything. We're not saying that in any way whatsoever. It's just a reflection of kind of within the mix at that event, like
Which is
where
not a normal event. It is an
which is
absolute.
not a normal
It is
event.
the Shark
Yeah.
Tank of Shark Tanks.
Yeah.
They also do a pod system where I think if as soon as you've lost a game, you like your top placing diminishes because
Yeah.
the winners of each mini GT that they've got going on then go into like the final. So as soon as you lost a game, you can't win that, and then however many people go in that final GT, the highest you can place is one below. I think that top group of people.
It's very strange.
I think is how they do it. So they did it at when they did the Warhammer Fest in Manchester as well, and it was really weird. There, it was just a bit like. Yeah, it basically meant there was no point in going for the second day.
It's that meme where it's
I
like,
think
why
I
can't you
turned
just be normal?
Yeah, like I didn't even turn up for the second day and still finished in like the top quarter of the event.
Yeah,
or something,
'cause you
I'd
physically
done
can't
all
finish
the
lower.
previous day, it was just the most pointless thing ever. It was, I think Games Workshop's issue for me is they want to get into the competitive space, but they don't know how to do it, and they're still sort of like, or it's like guys who want to keep the game fluffy, trying to run competitive tournaments, and it just seems a bit like, what are you doing, guys? You know, you either commit or don't commit is how I sort of feel that they need to go with these things.
Yeah, and another weird thing as well is that they have this weird thing with the mission pack where basically I don't think it was even revealed until like lists were already locked in, so you couldn't prepare for it at all. And then my favourite picture that has been sent was in our Discord by Tofu, who is actually the second best Death Guard player there, so excellent work there to him. And he also he actually running Hammer, so excellent work there on the Hammer list there. Really well done. And he honestly did himself super proud, and he should be proud of himself as well. But he sent a picture of what I could only say is a GW layout that looks like it's very clearly meant to be played on either Search and Destroy or the Diagonal Deployment, being played on Dawn of War. It was Ben Jones sent the picture, actually. It was Ben Jones. Yeah, it was Ben Jones.
Have you got the picture? If you got it, are you able to put it on the screen?
What you mean? Aidan, do you mean this one? I've just dropped it into the, yeah. Will, look at that.
That's a board. Flipping hell.
I'm going to try and get
exactly what I'm talking about. Like, that is just embarrassing. Like, that is the World Championship of Warhammer, and you are playing on that board.
I'm going to try and get it up. It's
like getting to the flipping, I don't know, like the World Cup final, and then just playing like a pub's thing on a pitch outside the back of a pub.
Yeah, it's mad.
That's very frustrating to see.
Here you go, guys. So there you go for the stream.
The best they could do.
So you can clearly see it's like it doesn't look like it's made very well for Dawn of War, because like this is the only ruin you can hide behind is like this central one and this tiny one here, and he got paired against Tau.
To be honest, if I was the TO and I saw that, I think Games Workshop should be a bit ashamed of themselves. To be honest, like. All disclosure, like that is embarrassing. Like, you've got the best players in the world. You've had people travel across the sea to play like some of the other best players, and then you present them with that board. Yeah, like that's embarrassing. Games Workshop. Like,
I do
whoever
agree.
Thought that was okay. Look in the mirror and ask yourself if you did a good job.
Look at this brick here.
If you didn't, and then do better next year.
I'm glad Derek agrees as well in chat, because like and I agree, that was like when he went Taliban, I totally understand that as well, because it all comes down on a big 6-inch drop, so like this isn't too big of an issue. You can just, as long as you get one good contagion spread, you set up. Yeah, but like
you can do it.
Good lord, what is this? Like, just look at these tanks just sat, just like I'm just shoot on the entire board.
Genuinely embarrassing. Like I guess
yeah, there are clear base. Don't there are clear base, but the problem is like these middle ruins.
Even with them, look.
Like why is like a staging point here, which then your opponent just gets to clean shooting? Like I said, if this was played on Search and Destroy or like diagonals across, like that middle ruin would have like some good staging points and there's places to fight. But why would you put Dawn of War on this layout? Like, why?
Then you've the other thing. Like, if you are also trying to be the maker of the game that does this, surely you'd want to like have a good board that has good aesthetics as well. It looks terrible and it's also functionally terrible. Like, it's missed every box. Yeah, like I know we sort of play the game and sort of are quite committed to this hobby, but Games Workshop as a company sometimes do just blow my mind as to how incompetent they are for a multi-million-pound company.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
now.
Yeah.
This all being said, though, obviously there were some standout factions that kind of dominated the event overall. So let's have a quick glimpse. So obviously we do know the entire thing was obviously won by Adeptus Mechanicus. I think Admech is way overbuffed at the moment. I think it is just it's starting to feel like GSC used to be, where it's just got its stuff is way too cheap, hits way too hard for what it is, and it's all weirdly durable as well because it's all got invulnerables. Like you can fit like 9 las cannon chickens, which is 18 twin link las cannon shots, 30 infiltrators because this is what Siegel was running, and then still like 15 bird boys and still 20 more infantry on top of that. And if you get first and someone just can't do anything against it, it's just gonna like run forward and absolutely flatten you. I don't think there's much. Hey Tofu, how you doing, mate? Good to see you in the chat, man.
Yeah, well done, dude.
But yeah, so we know Admech's doing well. Obviously, then we saw Liam VSL on his Eldari. The last game was like really down to the last wire. So like,
Yeah, it was.
but I mean, obviously, when you got two armies like this, which are really strong, like again, when they actually play each other, they actually get to play a game, which is nice to see. Now, Eldari obviously is, and I have obviously strong feelings against Eldari. Eldari has been proven to still be just kind of absurd as an army. It has, and it's one of those. Its faction identity is to basically not play the game the same as everyone else. Its entire point of the army is to be, I do not play like normal 40k. I get to do all this nonsense. But we have seen them obviously doing really well. We had in the top 10, we had three Eldari at the top 10. So that's I think this is maybe getting to the point now where we can prove that Eldari may be a little too strong. And not to mention that, I think my biggest issue with Eldari is also an experience. I just think it is a miserable army to play against because it is entirely built around uninteraction. And the Fire Dragon combo with the Wave Serpent in and out, I think is just one of the most egregious and obnoxious things to go against.
I don't think it's just that. I think it's built around not being able to interact with it, and then when it decides it wants to wipe you off the board, it just does it.
Yeah, it's really gross.
After you can't do anything to it.
Yeah, it's gross. Now, interesting to see, we still had Emperor's Children up here now. Emperor's Children obviously had this massive blowout loss to Liam in the round before the finals. Now, we were talking about this actually in the Discord before, and basically what happened is John Lennon full sent into the Eldar, and as we were talking, like the only way to beat Eldari, especially like as Death Guard and stuff, is you have to put aggro aggression on them, because if you try to play normal 40k against them, where it's like, you kind of like they're doing things, you're doing things, and you don't put them under pressure, they're gonna run circles around you, they're gonna run rings around you, they're just gonna kill you. So Lennon sent his entire army in, did a decent amount of damage, and then basically Eldar then proceeded in one turn. Liam picked up 1,000 points with Lennon's army. So that doesn't mean it was the misplay by Lennon. That was still the correct thing to do, but it also shows you, like, even when you have armies that are Emperor's Children just has a good match into Eldari, because Eldari does not like fast pressure. But this is Emperor's Children played by one of the best in the world, and still like has that potential to just fail and then get absolutely clapped in a turn back, which is, it's kind of mad. And I will agree, like, people, like, yeah, I complain about 6-inch deep strike on Death Shroud while saying Eldar was fine is a bit ridiculous. I think, 6-inch deep strike is just nothing compared to things that Eldar can do. But that was that. Can I also get a shout out for Giorgio Castelli from Italy here with Death Watch in 4th place? What a Chad!
Legend. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, what an absolute Chad. That is absolutely crazy. Which is like, so cool.
When those sleeper armies are in the hands of a really good player, they are really good.
We've always said this.
They're just not as good as other Space Marine chapters. So if you are like a meta chasing, top of the game player, admittedly Death Watch is a flawed choice versus some of the other chapters, but it's still a pretty strong army.
Can we also call out Alexander Jensen as well for finishing 10th with Thousand Suns as well?
Yeah, really well done to him there as well, because like Thousand Suns are not doing super hot right now. So to see that he in that performance there, he skewed this Thousand Sun win rate super hard, which is really funny. Yeah. So it makes him look like they really everyone's like, great, we're gonna get nerfed again, which is really, really funny. We also had another Eldari by Folger Piles. This was the fella that I can't remember if he won Worlds last year, if he won. He did win Worlds. I can't remember. Yeah, because LVO. Oh, was he the one who won LVO? Yep. I know Folger won with Custodes last time against Guard in the final. I think it was Worlds. So him coming back on Eldari again, doing really, really well. So and no surprise there. Steve Trimble on Drukhari. Now I don't know too much about Drukhari. I haven't obviously played too much against them. They're still fairly new. I'm going to do a quick look at his detachment. Spectacle of Spite. Now I have played against that. That is the one that can like just charge you at the end of your movement phase.
Yep.
That is it's crazy fast. Can hit really hard, and it's one of those where he also has a bit of the advantage of being super new. So, you know, matchup knowledge isn't the highest, but still, obviously, played really well. You don't get to 6th place in Worlds by just having the new army that no one doesn't understand. Like, still extremely well played. Then we see Sisters. So, Sisters, Eldari, and Admech are kind of the ones that are at the top of the meta at the moment, as we'd say. Now, Sisters kind of just came back kind of out of nowhere with a few little buffs. And they are also extremely, extremely strong right now. They obviously, Miracle Dice is kind of a crazy mechanic. And it's... I don't know how to really put it against Sisters, because I haven't played against them in such a long time, really. I don't think we have a fantastic matchup into them, I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's as bad as like the Admech and the Eldari, but I still don't think it's really favoured towards us. I don't know if you guys have any more experience against them. They have a silly output, because obviously a single melter shot goes through, suddenly it's a flat 8 damage. It's not a d6 plus 2, it's going to be flat 8. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those where, and again, Miracle Dice, being able to auto-guarantee charge and things like that is just a bit crazy as well. Like, just the mechanic itself is kind of wild, and now they have tons of them again. It's pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys have any opinions on Adeptus Sororitas.
Yeah, I've played them quite a lot recently. As one of the guys, he hasn't been down to our club night for a while, but a guy called Kia, who I was playing every other week. Yeah, like, he's a newer player as well. So I was kind of like often trying like different lists and sort of testing as, you know, how well they'd do against him. But there was so many times where, like, there was one time at the end of the game, I was like getting him to read his rules out to me. So I was like, mate, there's no way you should have that many miracle dice. And then yeah, we'd be checking, you know, you do get that many miracle dice.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, he just had miracle dice all the time. Like, he had more miracle dice than he could spend. Like, finished the game with like more than 10 miracle dice. Yeah. Having used one on every unit, nearly every. It was nuts. So yeah, like, it was. I think they're very good. Like, I played them when Death Guard were at their peak as well, and it was the 3 bricks, is it Sacrosancts, with the -1 to wound and the resurrection.
Yeah, and if they're below starting strength, +1 to hit as well, I think. And
yeah, that was a good build. And then the buffs that they've got again just seem to have opened up a whole load of extra builds. And again, like, I don't understand why you don't see one of their builds more, because Ignite did take it to a teams tournament that they won, like Team Ignite, like it's Vic and Co, isn't it? Where they did the 3 3 out of line of sight guns? I forget what they're
the Exorcists.
Yeah. I always think, like, if the PBC build was so broken, why is the 3 Exorcist build not everywhere? Because it does it, but like actually does it much better. So that's always been a bit of a head scratcher to me.
I think the other thing is that we joked about it off stream. Of the top 20 lists at Worlds, the top 20 armies, 10 of them start with A. So clearly, Games Workshop also have decided to power the armies now based alphabetically.
Yeah. So there was also Dark Angels up there. So well done to Kyle for playing Dark Angels. That's pretty good, pretty impressive. But then what I say is, obviously outside of the top 10, I do just want to point out, like, straight after the top 10, we have Eldari, Mechanicus, Sisters again, Mechanicus. There is a Marine in there as well. Another Emperor's Children. Then we have Brian from Red Path as well from World Eaters. Yeah. So extremely well done to Ryan there.
Yeah, well done, dude.
Extremely well done. So we do see a lot of the Art of War guys as well on Admech, Eldari, pretty much. So it's an interesting one, because Death Guard, if you were to believe the wider internet, should have still been an A tier army, because that's what everyone was saying. We're still A tier, we're still like super S tier. I think we can safely dispel this now, that maybe the nerfs that we got have probably done a bit too much damage to us, or at least the buffs to the other armies combined with the nerfs was too much of a swing both ways, because the top armies at the moment, Eldari, Admech, and Sisters. And again, I can speak less for Sisters because I haven't played against them in a while, but I can definitely speak for Eldari and Admech. They ain't good matchups. They really ain't good matchups. Thank you very much, Kyle. Kyle Titus, thank you so much for
Thanks,
the
Kyle.
5 Kitty memberships. Really, really appreciate that so much. Thank you, mate. Really, thank you. If you're gifted one, make sure you say thank you there to Mr. Kyle. Someone went 7-1 with a Fulgrim Peerless Bladesman. Hell yeah, that's respect for playing Fulgrim. What I mean,
That's cool.
So on those boards,
yeah,
probably quite good.
Yeah.
There's nowhere he
can get what he wants. Yeah.
So I mean, like
all that terrain.
But where do we go from here? Obviously, because I think it's pretty obvious, and hopefully it's obvious right now that Eldar and Mechanicus, at least, and probably Sisters at some point, need a tone down. Like, I don't know how like they've escaped it for like a while, but you can't put points down on Admech to this certain point and then give them crazy rules. Like, those are probably going to get nerfed. Like, I'm pretty sure. I'm happy to put money down them getting nerfed, but if they get nerfed, do you guys still reckon that Death Guard need some changes, or do you reckon those nerfs themselves will be enough? It's a bit of a hard one.
We need internal balance. I think some of the points were correct. Like, you know, if we're honest and blunt about it, I think the Death Shroud are right at 160. Maybe the Lord of Contagion goes down to 110. Maybe the Lord of Virulence could go to 90.
I think the opposite there, Will. I think the Death Shroud alone aren't the problem. I think it's when they put the Lord of Contagion in there, it puts the damage through the roof on them. So
it does, but that unit becomes incredibly expensive. I think the simplest fix is lower the cost of PBCs.
Yeah.
Give us back the ability to interact with stuff that is not now, like as Derek said in chat as well, I was talking about, if you screen us out properly, then we're in a much less damaging position to our opponents. And I think that give us the ability to either make holes again in people's lines, because if you go back to, you know, not that we want to be glancing back in the past all the time, but if you go back to kind of where Ninth was and stuff like that with them, at the end, you know, you were able to do that, right? You'd be like, cool, my opponent's screening me out. Well, I'm going to make a hole over there. Now you're going to have to push something back, and it suddenly starts changing their game plans. And with the 600, and, you know, because taking one doesn't make any sense. 2, does that make sense? Really, is it really delivering what you need? Like if you do taking 3 PBCs, you're 630 points down straight away.
Yeah, it's very expensive. Also, very quickly, just to answer a question in chat, just very quickly was asked by Mr. I've lost his name in chat. He asked Johnny Combat. He just asked how CSM did. The best CSM play was Innes Wilson in 24th, followed by Thomas Cowan down in 55th. So looks like they did pretty okay. Nothing stand out there, but a good result for them. Still showing that there is still legs in that book. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, I mean, there's a chat's obviously going on right now about PBCs and do they need to come down? Because I think right now, even if we were to pivot to, because Tofu did take 2 PBCs in Hammer, and the problem was like they can help, but the problem is so many units have so much reach because of mobility creep. Like those, like
you just get tagged up, don't they?
There's
also a horde problem with that.
Fire Dragons can reach it. Like genuinely, like Fire Dragons can just go and reach it and then pop one, and then it's gone, and it's like cool. That's half your indirect gone.
Unless you've got you know where points were, we could have taken that build right and screened, and built in screens to stop them getting there, and stop not letting a star engined vehicle Falcon Serpent just jumping into there and then getting the Fire Dragons out and it doing what it wants. Like we could use to kind of do those things. And the current points don't let us do that.
I think the one thing that used to be really good about Plague Burst Crawls as well is I used to love putting the Flamers on them. I mean, Entropies were bad last edition, but like the reason the Flamers were so good as well is because it gave the tank a method to defend itself, especially against Melter profiles, because if they wanted to come in and shoot with that Melter weapon, you could then Overwatch with your Flamer. But instead now, like the Fire Dragons, for example, like if we could Overwatch them, they would genuinely have to be like, oh, that's a proper problem because that's anti-infantry 2 up, it'll be AP potentially 2. Like, I could lose quite a few Fire Dragons to this Overwatch, whereas now they just go, haha, you can't Overwatch me, and they just kill your tank for absolutely 3. I feel like, obviously, go on.
I think so. What I was saying before, like with Death Shroud, I was running down. So I think the Death Shroud are right at 160, but I think the attached character, for example, the Lord of Contagion, maybe should be 110. Like say, Lord of Virulence down to 90. But that's just an example of, I think, internal balance. I think Predators need to come down. Predators are also feeling the same as a PBC. They're just not worth their points. They are good. I've what we talked about at the start of the episode, because Aiden, you had them in your list. I thought I'd try them. I put them back on the tail. I am impressed with Predators, I have to say.
Yep.
I just wish maybe he's 5 or 10 points cheaper.
Yeah.
And I think the funny one, so there's some things that I think could get more points. I think you could put 5 points on Haulers if we're going to be totally fair about it. You could put 5 points on Malignant Playcaster, it'd be totally fair. But if you do that, I think the other drones, Moa and Spitter, could maybe be 95 or 90. Probably 95, I guess, because I guess 90 was too cheap. I think the launcher drone's fine. PBCs need to come down. I'm trying to think of what else would kind of like be a steal. I think the Tallyman could be 45 points as well. I think at 50 he's a little bit too pricey. I think Spawn could come down to 75. I don't think Spawn are worth 80. I'm trying to think. There's like a lot of stuff that's like balanced, but there's a lot of stuff that's just a little bit over, just a little bit under. And we're still just taking the same unit and paying more. We haven't really got anywhere to pivot. Like Morty needs 2 more attacks on his smash, for example, and all of a sudden I'll look at him a lot more sort of reasonably. Whereas at the moment he can't even kill a carnivore on average dice. Like he can sway through like a squad of like, you know, power armored infantry, you know, even like elite ones. But as soon as he comes up against another Primarch, he just gets smashed to pieces. So like, I don't know. I think it's just internal balance. You know, like you said, if PBCs came down a bit, you know, does that sort of open up? Because they're way too expensive. I mean, what do we think they should be? 195? Do you think that sounds fair, or do you think it should be less, more?
I think you're talking. I think you're talking 180 again.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
what are they at the moment? 210.
See, I feel like
I mean, I know it's a huge drop, but we did see 2 big price hikes on them, and then suddenly that unit was just. And I know I'm talking very generalistically here, but that unit then disappeared from the table. In the way that in the capacity that it used to offer us.
If they just fix Hammer, PBCs won't be a problem. The problem is, like, again, you get the benefit of the indirect at max power without having to make any effort for it. Like, we used to have PBCs in Index and used to be able to obviously move something like Spawn up, and then you'd get in contagion range, and then you'd play Spoil Blight, and now you have AP2 ignores cover, indirects from your Plague's Crawls, and that is better than what we can currently get. We can only get AP2 does not ignore indirects unless you've shot with a Defiler, but obviously if a Defiler can see it, you're probably not shooting with indirect. So like, it used to be stronger, the indirect, the difference being that you had to go and work for it. You had to put in the effort, whereas Hammer took that away and just let you go derp. So I think the problem that it feels oppressive is the fact, like, again, you can just go that and fire the mortars off. But this is another thing I don't understand, okay? I used to totally understand the hatred of indirect. I used to 100% get it.
Yeah.
It's uninteractive. It's not fun. I get it. But you can't make that argument anymore when I'm sick to death of having transports in and out in units in the same goddamn turn. They hop out over a wall, they blow up a tank or two, and then they go, cool, 1 CP, I'm back in the transport behind the wall. That's uninteractive. Yeah. So if that's
and that's
allowed,
not just Eldar.
Yeah,
that's not just Eldar. That's, you know, you've got, if you look at the Adepts, if you look at those Taraxi unit, right, inbuilt move and shoot. You go, you know, you've got Raven Guard doing reactive moves all over the place. Like, it's not that the game is, people aren't just stuck statically anymore. Yeah. You know, so therefore, if you go, cool, you are going to jump back behind that wall, you are going to hide. Well, I've got something that can actually interact with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, I agree but disagree with some of the sentiments, and I'll just expand quickly.
Yeah.
I think Plague Storm didn't just come around with the Codex. I think we've got to remember that. And there was already sort of some calls for maybe being a little bit oppressive for different reasons, because obviously the cheap hull spam. I think what the problem is, I think for us indirect is like one way to fix it, but I think indirect is like it's a bandage on a broken leg. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
We're fixing a problem with another problem, because then indirect becomes a problem, and then people complain, then it gets nerfed again, and the PBC is now 240 points.
I mean, if we had, this comes back to the, you know, why the Poxwalker detachment I think is interesting at the moment. It has some jank, and you actually end up with a lot of mission playing units, and you end up with units you can just throw away, and it doesn't matter, which we don't have at the moment. And I think that's kind of what we need. We either need some more stuff where, like Spawn are the right example to me. Spawn at 80 points and not really a throwaway unit because they're too expensive. They don't really kill anything. They spread contagion and they can do actions, but they're only OC2. should there be 80 points? Like, comparing the World Eater spawn, which I think are the same points, the World Eater spawn are nuts. Do you know what I mean? Like, all the other spawn are the same points. And that Mortal Wound Splash thing, it's cute. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just cute. Sometimes it does something. The
Yeah,
dying
it's
shooting,
been very-
it does nothing. Like, so I think spawn, for example, what if they were, let's 60? I don't know why couldn't there be 65? Beast and Urgle, I think, are busted at 65.
Well, this
I have
this
to
is the
say.
thing. I like honestly, like
But-
if obviously they're not going to do it, but if like the demon thing was lifted from just being in Taliban, so like in Taliban, obviously they got the synergy. But if you could still just take like Beast and Nurgle, if we could just
Oh, you
take them in
take
any
3 in
list,
every list.
like that
Yeah,
would be a perfect example of a unit that we need. It's got scout, it can move through walls, it's tough, it forces bad trades from our opponent, at an exceptional rate for itself. So like that would be immensely helpful. And like obviously you can get that in Taliban. Obviously the problem in Taliban is that the strats are decent but not like great. Like you give up a lot of stuff to play Taliban to get Axe Demons. But I still think Taliban's good. Obviously it is good. It's doing
good.
well.
Yeah.
But just sort of following up on the spawn point, Beast of Nurgle 65 points, Spawner 80. I'd rather have a Beast of Nurgle every single day of the week. So why is Spawn not 65 points? And even at 65, I'm still not sure they're auto include. Like, that's just an example of like where we're maybe paying a few too many points compared to like the other sort of like factions. And I think that's where we've got internal balance problems. Because some units like Plague Marines are probably completely fine at 95 points. Do you know what I mean? This isn't like the sort of apologist Death Guard podcast. I think the Plaguecaster should be 65, should go up. I think Haulers can maybe go up. You know, like if we're going to internal balance it, I'm not going to be one of these apologists pretends that everything's fine. Because we do have some undercosted units too, as most factions do, but we have more overcosted units, some egregiously overcosted units than undercosted units at the moment. And we have a lot of fair, balanced units in the middle, but we're playing in a game where other armies don't have fair and balanced units, so we're kind of like, I don't know, we'll turn with a knife to a gunfight is maybe a good analogy.
I have a question. And this one's going to go for you guys and for the chat. Is Death Guard's current problems caused by Death Guard in the state it's in, or is it caused by the rest of the game in the state it's in?
Rest of the game, I think, more than Death
Spawn.
Guard.
I think Spawn is really. I think Spawn are actually really good. Because again, they spread contagion. They're super fast for us anyway. I don't think I put them to 65. That would be too low. But I agree with the sentiment that we could do with some more like cheap trading units in that sense. Like so, Beast and Nurgle is super good for it.
Beast and Nurgle are cheap rather than Spawn. I think they probably should both be like 75, 70, somewhere around that, just to sort of clarify that. I think Beast and Nurgle are busted at their points, and if you could get them more readily available, yeah.
Yeah, so go on. So to go back to that question, is it actually a Death Guard problem, or is it a rest of the game problem? Because I do genuinely think that the top of the meta right now is super toxic for us, because we've never been great into like. We've never been great. There's certain armies we've never been great into. Eldar, Tau are like two of the big ones up there. They've always been a bit hard for us. And obviously Eldar being top dogs up there is obviously not fantastic for us right now. But yeah, go into... also that. Yeah, people knowing what Death Guard do. Because this is another thing I've said as well. And I'll let the guys have their piece on it. That like when people are complaining about Death Guard, they always forget like outside of that 6-inch deep strike and outside of undercosted data sheets, the Death Guard Codex is an honest book. It moves forward, it deals a metric ton of damage if you're within contagion range, and it has higher toughness profiles than usual. Outside of that, though, you ain't got advance and shoot outside of very specific enhancements and stratagems in very specific detachments. You don't have advance and charge anywhere. We have very little access to reactive move outside of a 380 point Primarch, and it's basically just an honest army at that point. It is, I shoot you, you shoot me, I roll saves, you roll saves, but there's no real like actual like full on jank. So the second we lost our sort of undercosted sheets, we're left with an army that does still does fantastic damage up close, but we're also in a meta game right now where the top armies, you don't need that damage to kill those units. You just like a 10-man Plague Marine unit against like Admech and against like Eldari is just not needed. Like, yes, it can kill a knight like potentially from full, but like you can kill these things so much with so little output, but the problem is because you're capable of doing that much damage, you're also pointed at it. So you got this 380 point like Rhino with 10 Plague Marines, and I think that's obviously even more than that. It's like it's what it's
get into
yeah,
400 once you start
something,
putting everything else in. Yeah.
which just means it functionally can't work in a meta right now where there's loads of like cheap units like 150 point 10-man infiltrators that will pick that unit up all day every day with a single CP help. So I'll pass it over to you two anyway. So yeah, is it Death Guard's issue, or is it the game around us? Because I genuinely think if we were in a meta right now, I know it's a bit silly to say this, if we were still in a meta where like Dark Angels, Terminators were still really strong, Custodians were still really strong, I think we'd be doing a lot better than where we currently are, because there's like, you know, there's like things like Eldar and Admech.
Go on, Will. You started.
I mean, I've already kind of said a lot of the things I wanted to say on it, really. I think, like I say, I think as much as, being honest, we've got a couple of units that maybe are still a little bit too cheap, but I think we've got a lot of units that are now a bit overcosted. I think had they not buffed the rest of the game around us, the nerfs we got might have just been fine, and we might have just, you know, nestled somewhere between bottom of A, top of B. But I think the problem is they did that, and then they just completely changed the game around us. So the metrics used to balance us were kind of, I don't know, they weren't the right metrics to use, I think is probably the best way to put it. But I did have a bit of a rant there as well about it, Dave. So you kind of lead in with your thoughts.
Okay, mate. Yeah. So I just think that, so I've got two views on this. I think one is that, and I mean, I've always thought this since I got past the learning to play the game and started playing tournaments and stuff, which is this game, the game that we play, is one in the move. It's still one in the movement phase, and your ability to move, and you can see that in terms of all the armies that are kind of sitting at the top of it. And to your point, Aidan, outside of a very expensive Primarch, one detachment, we don't have uppy downy, we don't have reactive moves, we don't have the ability to fall back and do things or advance and do things, and they're spending strats on things. We don't have that baked into data sheets. Not saying that we don't have great data sheets with great rules in them, but a lot of other people can now do things that are with movement that negates a lot of that capability. And to people's point in chat, people know what we do. And what I kind of would like to I still would have liked to have seen when we were going back to what did we hope was going to be in the codex, is that I think if our contagion had the capability to turn off other people's abilities, so that we get there slowly, right? We have to position ourselves well. We have to play to get into the game and close people down. But when we do start to do that, we start to negate the ability for people to become uninteractable. And that, I think, is maybe the change within Death Guard I'd kind of like to see, thematically taking it forward, but seeing that new. And I think if we had that sort of capability as a balance within Death Guard, it would then allow us to play in the game that exists now. But I think as it stands, I probably agree with you guys. Without that miraculous alternate multiversal reality happening, the rest of the game it seems that movement and reactive movement and all that capability is happening in a lot of places, which negates a lot of our functionality.
I mean, I think so. Obviously, I think most lists lost close to 200 points in the no. So most of lists,
easy.
I think if they rolled that back, they made it like we lost 120 to 150, somewhere between there, depending on the units. I would be curious as to what that looked like, because I often think sometimes just one more unit of Poxwalkers might be all it is to sort of like be the difference sometimes in like lists. And I don't know, I don't think we're actually far off where we need to be.
Yeah.
But obviously that doesn't reflect in the results, because I do feel that we do compete in a lot of these games. It's just we're overwhelmed by, like you say, the armies with cheaper, faster units. Whereas, like I say, I think we're just one or two throwaway units away from being able to compete with them again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's
like
a
I
lot
say,
of times I'll make a list and I just really wish I could get one more Poxwalker unit in it. And that's all. I'm like, I don't want, like, so I'm not after my 200 points back, but like, if I could just get like 80 points back, like another unit of spawn or just another Poxwalker unit, like just something like that, just like one extra asset on the board, And also, I agree before. I think it was Derek that said it. I would love to see predators. Like for me, if I could change one rule, please just make the predators like a castigator. Just let them benefit from the +1 AP. Like, or just take them back to the old rule.
Yeah.
Like, I like.
Go back to the old rule.
Yeah, I would much rather them just be like, hey, I just benefit myself. I just shoot infantry and kill them really good. Because like setting it up is nice. Like you shoot something and make it easy for other things to shoot. But like I preferred it just when I could be like, this thing just is infantry killer, mega killer 9,000. And especially because its points went up as well for it. Like I would rather it be more selfish and cheaper. Rather than the potential of it buffing my army, because a lot of times like I don't even end up making the most use out of it.
Yeah, I don't rate the heavy bolters on them as well, I've got to say. I think the heavy bolters are great if one predator's already shot to put 2 AP, because even in Contagion, it's basically cover. It's just like 1 AP. Like I was impressed with the amount of shots and the amount of saves people make, but it's not enough AP for people to sort of fail saves. So I think, I don't know if you guys have tried this. I mean, have you looked at Perez? I was wondering.
Yeah, I played on stream, didn't I, versus Stephen with Custodes, and that I think they still work. And I totally get what you're coming from, Will, but I also don't want 3 dice on a predator, which all of them can miss. And then
I think
they're completely.
No, I mean
think
las cannons on the destructor.
I think even las cannons on the destructor for me is totally pointless. I don't want 2 dice. Yeah, I played it and I played them both ways for a long time. And I definitely would rather have multiple opportunities for 2 damage and sustained and lethal than 2 shots, which I could, only get 1 off. I mean, that's personal preference, but
I thought 1 of each was what I found. So the first one doesn't need the AP, and then the first one should have a launcher for the second one for bolters to get some AP on it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
I was going to say just very quickly. I think one of the actual points cost I want to see reverted and potentially will come down is I think our variant characters are too expensive. Now I know everyone's going to say, "Oh, but look at the rules they give you for the points." Yeah, but they have to be attached to like a 190 point unit to like make them.
Foul Blightspawn's too expensive.
Like 75 points for Foul Blightspawn is ridiculous because like we have Judiciars which are like cheaper than that. And the difference is that the Judiciar also slaps in melee. Like, don't worry, they're good, but they have to go on Plague Marines. We don't have options like a lot of these other books do. Like, Judiciar can go in Assault Necessors, it can go in Blade Guard Veterans, it can join all these things. Whereas we basically are just like, has to go on Plague Marines. So, realistically, whenever you think about Plague Marines, the Plague Marine points cost is a lie. Because you can obviously run bare bones Plague Marines, but a lot of the time it's going to be Plague Marines plus the tax. And, like, in the game at the moment where it's like, the units that are so cheap can deal so much damage. Like, expensive units just don't have a place. I mean, look at Custodes. Like, that's an expensive elite arm with not many models. Look how bad it's doing. It's really struggling. Okay. So let's... Go on. You finish your last point and we'll play what's in the box.
I was just going to say
then we'll jump what's in the box.
When you compare the Judiciate, the extra floor bit is fight first is once per game as well. You know what I mean? 75 points a once per game fight first, and the stopping advances is meaningless. Like it's too small an area. People just like run round the 9 circle. But yeah, go on. Let's open this box and so it's been a ranty episode, isn't it?
Okay, so we've got a couple of things in here. Okay, so we have. Let's put this down here. Right,
Aidan, do you want to resize? Do you want to, even if you didn't mess it, do you want to resize your window?
I'll put myself up very quickly.
Hey. So Travis says Aidan's getting more Votan. Rug says there's books in there. Tentacle says there's cheese in there.
So I am now. I'm on the big screen.
Bobby Watson says a plague bong.
Okay, so
Nick also says cheese.
There's an envelope addressed to myself here. Okay, I'm gonna open the magical envelope. Focus camera, please. Let's have a look. New Maggot King. I fucking wish. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what? We should have talked about them. They look sick. We'll talk about the next episode because they are.
They look so good. Right.
There's a lot of kit bashing opportunities with that stuff, I think.
Yeah.
So here we are. So in here.
Here we go.
Oh, let me get the things right. Oh, wrong around there. Cool. Right. So. Saltire Games, it has sent us their new set of measuring instruments in the Disgustingly Resilient podcast set. So all of the instruments have been updated now to 100% have the correct information on them. So obviously to match the new it's the new diseases and stuff like that we have. So we have new access to these sets. So I'm going to hold up some sets now. So we're going to have, let me just grab these bits here and here. So we've got our new contagions, so you can track your contagions that you have. It's going to be a bit hard for the camera to see here. So we've got some of these. Then we've also got the turn counter. So you've got the nice turn counter to sort of like make sure you know which what turn your contagions on with your different ranges on it as well. All of these are now also sporting magnets, and we'll get to why in a second. Then we also have lovely little now afflicted tokens. Lots of them with the DRP logo on. So you get a bunch of afflicted tokens in here. You get like absolutely tons of them. You get like 10 or something. You get a ridiculous amount. So you can put these next to things to remind yourself when certain things have been shot by like your Plague Marines and have been afflicted, or Mortarian's hammer has afflicted them. Then we also have ones to show certain things here. So you have the Fight First Blinding Spray, so you can have a token to put next to your, it does say Blinding Spray in it, to put to your Foul Blight Spawn, so you know you've still got it unspent. All cool little things like this here. And then we have some more. Oh my god, you get absolutely tons. Fevered Strategist, so there's your free command point as well. So you can put that next to your Demon Prince to remind yourself that you've still got a free command point coming in. All sorts of cool things like this, just cool little reminders that you can use, as well as obviously having just like sticky objective markers as well, reminders on contagions, all this kind of good stuff. And then the Pièce de Resistance. This is the brand new measuring tool. So we have this here.
Oh, lovely.
So this is a magnetized measuring tool, which can be basically used for many different things. So right in the middle here, you have a pop out because of magnets. And now you've got a little coherency checker, a 3-inch checker for sort of like pilings and consolidations. You've got your 1-inch engagement range on the side. You've even got 1/2 inch here, and you've got 2 inches for your coherency. So that has a slot in here where you can magnetize it straight into there so you don't lose it. Kirby, please stop eating the box. And then from there, you have access to another pop out. So you have a 6-inch marker here. So you have a 6-inch engagement range there. You can also use it for these side profiles as well for a 2 inches, all kind of stuff like this. And then this all also connects onto itself. So it all magnetizes together again into making a 9-inch marker. So now you have a 9-inch deep strike marker here. So you can measure stuff when it needs to be 9 inches away for your deep strikes. You can then obviously pop that middle bit off again. There's your 6-inch deep strike marker, again, all magged together. And then the coolest bit is you can actually combine. So you have your 9-inch marker. You can get your extra, there you go. You can put the extra bit on the end like that. And now, just like that, you have a 12-inch marker as well, potentially with magnets. So you can measure out things like infiltrators and all that good stuff. And it all snaps together happily and nicely. So you can keep it all in one place and don't have to worry about losing it. And it's a lot more durable than it used to be as well. Feels a lot chunkier as well.
Very cool.
Turns out these are, as of today, I believe, going to be going up on Saltire Games website. So if you are interested in getting them and also potentially getting someone giveaway as well, I'll put up a giveaway for a set as well.
Very nice.
Then, which I'll obviously pay you for, Saltire, if that's cool with you guys. You can get yourself one of these new sets. They do ship abroad as well, and they're also very good. And then on top of that, they've also got some new colours for their previous items. So you have the deep strike markers, for example. So you have your nice little fluorescent green now. Nice little fluorescent green there with the little skulls on it from the podcast as well. Nice 9-inch deep strike markers. So you can put that down and around. And then also in this as well, you've also got extra colours for your engagement range markers, your little 3-inch multi-tool for your engagement range, pile and consolidate. That's your engagement, pile and consolidate, and then the 2-inch coherency. So really, really cool. Just new patterns, new colours, and that awesome little magnetized multi-tool, which is the thing that Will was going on about a few days ago. And in addition, they've also sent us this, which I'm going to give this away as much as my heart wants to keep it so badly. I think the channel would absolutely love this. They have sent us this emotional support Nurgling pillow. So
I feel that's really cute.
Cool.
It's very cute. So we have an emotional support Nurgling pillow here, which we can also give away to a lucky channel member who can win that one as well. There is a bag here for yourself, Whittle and Dave, with all the same tools that I've just got, so you will have a set sent to you guys as well. So these will be going up for our channel members to be going up on a giveaway. And Saltire Games, I believe, is going to put them up on up on their store very shortly. I will update my link. The link currently in chat is broken because they took it down, obviously, to put up the new one. So I'll make sure I update that as soon as possible. I just need to get the link off Saltire. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for sending us all those goodies there, mate.
That's awesome.
I really do appreciate that, man. I'm going to quickly reset my camera. And yeah, so if you're interested in getting yourself some of those, you can either enter the giveaway. That's going to go up very shortly if you're a member. Or you can head over to Saltire Games website and pick yourself up one of their brand new sort of multi-tools in our channel's colours, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really amazing. Yeah, so you can join by just obviously clicking join from here, or you can check out our homepage and you should have an option to do it from that. But yeah, then that'll get you in, and then in the Discord channel there is there's a giveaway tab, and we'll get it up in there. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
www.saltiregames.com. I believe it's .com.
.co.uk.
Is it .co.uk? Thank you.
.co.uk. Fact check.
We've also, in our little gift bags, we've also been given a lovely Team Scotland objective marker as well from Saltire Games, who do sponsor Team Scotland.
Nice.
Thank you very much. And we've also got some lovely stickers as well from the Saltire Games logo as well, which I'll shove one on my brand new PC on the side. So thank you so much, mate. I really do appreciate that.
That's really cool.
Mr. Harris. Honestly, thank you so much for that. And again, if you are interested in getting yourself some, saltiregames.co.uk. Check them out, and yeah, I'll get these giveaways put up. I'll take the pictures. I'll probably take the pictures tomorrow and get them put up on the giveaway channel tomorrow. So keep your eyes out if you're interested in entering to win this emotional support, Nurgling. Because look at that face. Look at that little face.
It's very cute.
It's very, very cute. I really want to keep that myself, but I feel like the channel probably deserves it more than I do. But yeah, so anything else you guys sort of want to add on tonight as we sort of come to a wrap up here? I feel like just to bring it back around so we're not seen as so negative. Like I said, I don't think we're in a terrible spot as Death Guard. I think we probably get some small changes. I think Taliban's actually really interested at the moment to sort of try and make up that speed difference with all the 6-inch deep strikes. But again, I think as we agreed upon, it's mainly an external issue right now. And I think once Eldari, Adamek and Sisters maybe get a bit of a tap down next thingy and the power armor armies sort of like come to fill the void, we might be in a better space because we do have very good matchups into sort of power armored over semi-elite armies because our damage output really does start to shine then. So yeah, very quick question: are there any more dice on British soil? I guess that's the
I'll do a quick. Shall I do a quick speed wrap up of all the final bits?
Yeah, you go for a minute. Yeah. I'm going to eat some sticks.
If you go to drpstore.com, you can find merch to support the channel there. You can get everything from jerseys with your name on the back of it. They will always be number 7, but there's been loads of people picking them up now on those in the merchandise site. There's everything from caps to hoodies, particularly going into winter. Kind of some nice, good, cozy stuff in there. There are dice on there too. So I think a few sets of rounded cornered dice left. I have messaged Baron of Dice to get another set of 20 of each to be sent over to me. That way, for if you're in Europe or the UK, it's much cheaper for me to post it to you than you paying pretty much the same price for import and then the shipping and then tariffs for the dice you're ordering. So if you do want some, Johnny, I think that was you that asked that. I do have a set of rounded dice, so you can order those through the DRP site. Please go and check out our friends at Element Games. If you're looking for models and want to play the game with them, Beast of Nurgle is Will's pushing very heavily at the moment. Clearly, they've got stock. You can get your models from those guys, and we do get a slight kickback from any sales that go through the link. Vanguard Tactics is a team Aidan and I both play for. You can get coaching with Aidan through a link on here for playing Death Guard, and just go and check those guys out. They do multiple streams a week. You've got yes, Sultar, I know what you mean. You've got the Vanguard Tactics guys are streams. They've got an academy that's just opening up. So if you are brand new to the game and you want to basically just get a kind of a 16 week module app-based system where you can get lessons and you can go back and review them as many times as you want and own the content and be in their Discord, do go and check them out. Like I said, even if it's just for the free content, the new bat reps are really fun. And you can see me playing a recent one versus Stephen in a full cinematic one, which was really fun. Then finally, Baron of Dice, as we've just been talking about, manufacture our dice. Go to baronofdice.com, link in the chat, in the video description. That will get you, if you're in the US, you can order your dice straight to you there. If you're outside the US, I probably would recommend ordering it through drpstore.com. And I think we've covered Saltire Games really well. I think that's everything probably from us. So, guys, anything before we wrap?
Like and subscribe.
Well
There we
done.
go.
I'm waiting for someone to say
Classic.
it.
Classic
And, just,
Mike.
and a final well done again to Derek. 40k dirtbags. He said, I believe at the start of the chat, he's going to have a video up tomorrow about his run. So please go over there and check him out as well. And yeah, we'll get together, start working on next content for bits coming up. And if anyone's got any games going on, please,
Actually,
keep us updated.
I've got one thing to say. So if anyone knows of any
well.
Maggot King of Nurgle channels, please comment below in the video because I would be curious to learn more about AOS because I do already have an army and I.
What a surprise! Will's got another army.
And it's on sprue. Surprise.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's on sprue on top of your wardrobe.
It is, yeah. So, but I would like to know if there's a channel out there because I would be curious, especially with the launch of the book, just to absorb some content because those models are super cool. So yeah, be curious to see if anyone who's watching this is also an AOS fan.
And completely unrelated, if there is not an AOS Maggot King channel, please let me know if you'd be interested.
That's what I was going to say was to extend the reach of Nurgle. Is that what people would like to see?
Oh,
I am
okay.
actually
We could
super
do
interested
the
in
Maggot King monthly roundup. There you go. If someone wants to build and paint my
It wouldn't be very competitive focused, but we'd talk about us having the collection and playing it, which would be fun. Because I'm quite interested in collecting those models because it looks sick. But yeah, I think what else have we got? I think that's about everything. So what we'll do. Oh, Derek as well, if you're still here. We'll try and get you on for an interview next week. Because you are also, not only have you obviously did the best at World Championships, you have took ITC Rank 1 Death Guard. Well done, congratulations on that one.
Well done indeed.
So we'll get you on for that. And I'd love to hear your opinions on sort of current state Death Guard as well. So that'll be cool. So we'll make sure we get that sort of figured out whether it's a live or a pre-recorded. We'll get that sorted and done, which would be awesome.
I mean, we could do it potentially next week. I mean, if he's live now, the time zone must be relatively sort of friendly. Yeah, so we'll chat about that and work it out for the week. But
yeah,
that
let us know if
be-
you're
could
free
be
this sort of
potential.
time next week. That'd be pretty cool. So people seem really want some Maggot King content, so we can see, even if it's just as sort of like our first steps, maybe to try it out, because I want to try the system out as well and all that stuff. It helps us in the sort of like time over between editions wrapping up. But yeah, obviously we'll try and talk at some point about those reveals as well, because they are very cool and potential.
They're amazing.
Maybe some conversions. I hope Death Guard like design gets influenced by this, because they're what I want Death Guard to be. They're a bit more serious, a bit less goofy, a bit more like on the body horror, like the intestines hanging out and everything like that, rather than like mouths in the stomach. So yeah, we'll have to see. Time will tell. We'll have to see. Travis saying I need to finish painting my Zeppelin for my Caradrons. Natalie's been trying to get me to finish it for ages because she wants to play Spearhead, and I just can't bring myself to finish it off because it takes forever. Right, anyway, that is enough rambling. Let's wrap this one up and let the boys go and get the food, entertain the missus, whatever they need to do. Hey, thank you, Johnny Combo. Enjoy your dice when they arrive, mate. But for now, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you all have a great evening, morning, afternoon. There's your dice. There they are. Wherever you are. And again, even though we didn't do too great at champions, don't worry. Death Guard is anything but resilient. No, I messed that up, didn't I, Dave? I really messed that one up.
Death Guard are very resilient.
Yes, that is what I meant to say. And we will endure. I just said we're anything but resilient. Well, on that note, stay rotten, take care.
On that note,
yeah, so that's all, guys.
guys, good to see you all. Thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe.
In the void, where the warm winds howl, a fleet once noble, now destined to fall. Grave wardens stir, betrayal takes shape, Typhon's whispers, sealing their fate. Navigators lost to the shadow lie, a fleet adrift beneath a darkened sky. The warp's cruel grasp, unyielding and tight, chaos awaits in the endless night. Whispers of power, a pestilent tide, Mortarian's pride, with nowhere to hide. destroyer plague, a grim reward. Nurgle's laughter echoes aboard. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Mortarion stands, his sons by his side. Through agony storm, their oaths collide. Grandfather's hand, the pact is sealed. The legion reborn, their fate revealed. Lies in the armor, rot in the soul. A Primarch remade, his heart grown cold. In terror's shadow, their war drums beat. Pestilent warriors, no chance of retreat. Through breach and ruin, their banners fly. With death's embrace, they'll never die. The Lion's Gate, where hope was torn. Jagged ties, blade meets the Plague-born. Bound by decay, they rise in his name. The death god transformed, never the same. Plague-born sons with torment they bled, shambling forth where angels fear to tread. Typhus herald, chaos born. Mortarion's wrath, the plague sworn. In the warhammer, their legacy thrives. Eternal servants where corruption lies. Mortarion's fall, Typhus' sons, the death god song. It never ends.